To say that I'm disappointed with the Elspeth Planeswalker deck would be a massive, massive understatement. This is a dumpster fire. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. I feel so let down. After yesterday's Ashiok Planeswalker deck unboxing video, I had a lot of fun going and playing that deck, right? Well, my experiences were different this time around with the Elspeth Planeswalker deck. So what we're going to do first is the unboxing portion of the video where you actually watch me go ahead and go through it and look at the cards and go, oh, okay, and get all excited about the deck. And then we'll meet back here and I'll talk about just how well this deck did and what went horribly wrong. All right, now it's time to see what the second Planeswalker deck looks like. If you haven't seen the other video, I opened Ashiok's deck yesterday, and the booster packs that I cracked out of that one actually had a bonus foil rare in it too. So we're gonna open the packs and everything here. Why not? Why not? I enjoyed doing that yesterday. I used to keep the packs for other purposes, but now, from now on, we shall just open them with the decks, all right? So we've got Elspeth Undaunted Hero. This is 3 white and 2. It's great for devotion. 5 loyalty. Her first ability, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Her second ability is -2. Search your library and or graveyard for a card named Sunlit Hoplite. Oh, cool. And put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. Neat. She searches for particular cards. That's different. -8, until end of turn, creatures you control gain flying and get +X/+X, where X is your devotion to white. Interesting. That ultimate could be absolutely brutal. It could also be underwhelming. So, I don't know. That's pretty cool. The fact that it looks for a Sunlit Hoplite is neat. Now I want to know what Sunlit Hoplite is. Okay, let's put you over here, honey. Let's put you over here, honey. It's too bad though in terms of cube action. That Planeswalker would definitely never make it into a cube with that tutor. Not in my cube, at least, with that tutor ability. Okay, so we're gonna see insert here. We'll do the booster packs last, like last time. We will do the deck first after we take a look at what the insert has to say here. Okay, let's plop this out here. All right, terms to know for this one are first strike, flash, and flying. All right, so take a look at that if you don't know how those work. And then we've got Elspeth, Undaunted Hero. Elspeth is a mighty hero, one of the greatest warriors the multiverse has ever seen. Countless lives would have been cut short had she not risked her own to protect them. Dragged into the last great conflict on Theros, she struck down a false god, only to be killed by the sun god she once served. But the world still needs her, so she's climbing out of the underworld to fight for justice once again. That's like the entire summary of the story. I'm still a little bit bitter about there not being a full-on story for this set, guys. I don't know if you can tell, but when I read stuff that's got flavor to it, I'm like, I want to know more! All right, so let's get into the deck here. Let us get into this deck. Oh, this one's being a little more of a tricky Nicky. Little slick Nicky here. All right, come on, let's do it. All right, there we go. So, we're starting out with Taranika, the Akroan veteran. 2 white and 1 for a 3/3 vigilance. Whenever this attacks, untap another target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains indestructible. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I like to think Kytheon keeps watch over all of us. Well, you can like to think that, but he died, Taranika. He ain't alive no more, so you wrong. You wrong about that. All right, then we've got Elspeth's Devotee. 2 white and 2. When this enters the battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Elspeth Undaunted Hero. Reveal it, put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So this is the standard search for the Planeswalker deck Planeswalker. It's just a 3/3, but hey, it adds to your devotion. It is fairly underwhelming in all honesty. Archon of Falling Stars, 2 white and 4 for a 4/4 flyer. When it dies, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. The Archon fell like a star from the sky, meeting the rising sun at the horizon's edge. Pretty cool. Pretty cool card. Amazing artwork. The flying on a crazy old ox. I love it. All right, not too shabby. Oh, cool. Constellation Daxos. That's a nice include. 2 white for a 2-star. His toughness is equal to your devotion to white. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain a life. Very solid. This is a very solid card. Oh, and there's a second Archon of Falling Stars. All right. Daybreak Chimera. 2 white and 3 for a 3/3. Oh, it doesn't have flying? What? Oh, it does. It's down there at the bottom. Okay. The spell costs X less to cast, where X is your devotion to white, and it's a 3/3 flyer. Okay. I mean, you can get them out for 2 white. That seems all right. And you get what? Oh, you get a full playset. Okay. Hero of the Winds. 1 white and 3 for a 1/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Hero of the Winds, creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. To tame a griffin is to ride into legend. Interesting. All right. I mean, it feels pretty expensive to cast, though. Leonin of the Lost Pride. 1 white, 1 for a 3/1. When Leonin of the Lost Pride dies, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Leonin band together in the underworld, taking solace in their strength until at last both pride and self are forgotten. That's some sad flavor text right there, man. That's sad. I feel sad for these Leonin. Don't forget who you are. All right. Then we've got Eidolon of Inspiration. 2 white and 1 for a 2/2 spirit creature. The beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 till end of turn. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. And the flavor text is, Agios was felled by a Minotaur's blade, but I swear I have seen him since in the midst of battle, wherever help is needed most. Cool. That's a cool concept. All right. We got, what, 3 of those? All right. Oh, here's the Hoplite. This is the one Elspeth can search for. So what is it? 1 white and 1 for a 2/1. As long as it's your turn, it has first strike. It gets +1/+0 as long as you control an Elspeth Planeswalker. Oh, it's a 3/1 with first strike. You can tutor up. That's all right, man. Even in her absence, the light Elspeth kindled in our hearts never faltered. All right, that's cool. How many do you get? Sweet. You get a full playset of them. That's dope. All right, and then we've got the basics. So, boop, 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 boop. Again, you don't get the full art Theros lands in here. Oh, it's all just, okay, there's no special lands in here at all. All right, wasn't expecting that. Dreadful Apathy. 1 white and 2. It's an enchant creature that makes it so the enchanted creature can't attack or block. Pay 1 white and 2, exile enchanted creature. Flavor text says, those whose lives were uninspired are doomed to the wretched tedium of Phyleus in death. All right, then. And we get 3 of those. That's all right. I mean, that's all right creature handling right there. Then we've got Indomitable Will. 1 white and 1 for a flash enchant creature that gives it +1/+2. So it's a combat trick and counts towards your devotion. That's not too shabby. Charge bravely, fight selflessly, act honorably. Erois will watch over you. Will we ever see Erois again, though? And we got 3 copies of Indomitable Will. Then we've got Karamitra's Blessing. 1 white instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an enchanted creature or an enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. That's not too bad for 1 mana. And look at that stag surrounded by a glowing force field as all of these arrows just bust on it. That's awesome. How many do we got? 3 of them. Not too shabby. Wow, there's a lot of combat tricks in this deck. Phalanx Tactics. 1 white and 1 colorless. Target creature you control gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Each other creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This feels better than that Griffin. Every soldier has a place to stand and a role to play. All right, serviceable flavor text, and we get 2 copies of that. And then other than that, we have your standard includes of turn order, blocking card, and the code for the online version of the deck. So that means the only thing left to do, my friends, is to crack these boosters. What goodness are we going to find inside of here? Ah, yeah. Oh, no, bad, naughty, do not buy. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, what up, Gary? Hey, oh, get out of here. You're taking Gary's shine. Don't take Gary's shine, people. So, no, everything's falling. Okay, we're good. Gary. We got the Gary Merchant of Asphodel. We got Rise to Glory, and the rare is Gravebreaker Lamia. Wrong box! You should have come with the Ashiok deck. Alright, whatever, because you get one of those in the Ashiok deck if you didn't watch the unboxing from yesterday. Alright, so that leaves this 1 booster pack. Alright, I've learned the tricky secrets of making sure everything's off screen so you can see the actual cards. Alright? Here we go now. Alright, what do we got? And what do we got? Protean Thaumaturge. Okay, alright. This thing's kind of funky. It's not too bad. Okay. Alright, well, that wraps up what we got in the deck. So now the next stage of the video is to actually hear what happened when I went and played with this deck on Arena. Is it a good deck? How does it work? Let's find out. Oh, I long for the time when I was excited about trying out this deck. As I said, the Ashiok deck from yesterday was actually a lot of fun to explore and see how it operated, and it left me hopeful that this deck would also be exciting to explore. So for those of you who didn't see yesterday's video and don't know how I tested the deck out, what I did was I loaded it into my Arena account and I just played a bunch of games in the unranked area. And I will say this for Arena. Arena does a pretty good job when you're playing garbage decks. And by garbage decks, I just mean low power tier. You can have a deck that's not high powered and it's not garbage, but you get what I'm saying for the purposes of this conversation. Garbage decks, right? We're talking Planeswalker decks. We're talking like the precons that Wizards gives you in Arena. That level of power. So when it matched me up in Arena, it didn't put me up against a bunch of people running like Mono Black Devotion and Cat Cauldron and all that. It put me up against people playing with roughly the same level of jank. So I don't feel like the results that I got from this deck come from a place of, you were playing against decks that were too OP, right? I ran it through the same conditions as the Ashiok deck yesterday. Just play a bunch of random games on Arena in unranked, no real stakes, and just kind of let the deck express itself, feel it out, see what kind of direction the deck wants to take you in. And with the Ashiok deck, it was like, feed it into the graveyard. Okay, well, with Dumpster Fire Elspeth, it's trying to go in too many directions at one time, and because of that, it just fails utterly. Like, it's trying to be a white weenie deck with devotion mixed in, like aggressive to a degree, but its aggressive flyers are like very expensive and dependent on the devotion. You have a scenario where you've got cards like Archon of Falling Stars, who brings an enchantment back from your graveyard, but there's only 2 different enchantments in the deck. And Karamitra's Blessing is like, I'll make an enchantment creature indestructible, and yet you're not really rocking a bunch of enchantment creatures. Like, there's just little dribs and drabs of different concepts shoved in there. And so when I look over the deck list, it just pulled in multiple directions. It just felt like they were trying to, let's showcase this and let's showcase this. And it just ends up with not much working. And I mean, the enchantments are fairly underwhelming as well. You've got Indomitable Will, which is an instant enchantment. It's a flash speed enchantment that lets you give a creature +1/+2. Whoop-de-doo was never really relevant to me. And then Dreadful Apathy, which is a very expensive way to remove a creature from the game. And by the way, Dreadful Apathy, that's the entirety of the creature control in the deck, in any way of trying to control your opponent's board. So that's it. You've got 3 copies of Dreadful Apathy. End of list for dealing with creatures. It's just not able to respond to anything. Honestly, the biggest problem was I sat there most of the time just holding my dick, like not getting to actually play. That's what happened. I just sat there going, can I play? Or is it just, I'm just putting out I mean, technically you got to play. To clarify, I'm not talking about the not getting to play where all my stuff is being countered, although I did run into some of that. It's a situation where I'm just putting out creatures and they're just sitting there while I stare at my opponent, just going, I can't get through, I can't do anything. I got like, literally, I won 1 game with the deck. 1 game. And the game that I won with it, my opponent mulliganed twice. So they had a 2-card handicap from their hand. Like, that's the only circumstances under which I could make this deck function. Plus, I got a really good draw that game that allowed me to do like a quick curve out of a second turn 3/1 Leonin, and then the third turn Eidolon of Inspiration that gives it like +2 power. So all of a sudden I'm swinging in for 5. But without that perfect startup and my opponent essentially being jet lagged by having 2 cards short, I wouldn't have stood a chance. The deck is an absolute failure, which really sucks because I was excited about playing it. But it's terrible. The Ashiok deck is miles better. And like, take it from me, I'm a guy who likes to play green creature smash. I play a 250 card green creature deck. So I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to a deck that just wants to smash face. But the problem is, this deck doesn't allow you to build up your creatures beefy enough to oversmash, right? So you can't go that route. And it can't muster an army really quickly either. So you can't go the swarm them quickly route. You can't go the overpower them route. Which route can you go? You're left with no route. You have to hope for your opponent to just get screwed over. So for me, this deck it's the worst. For yesterday's deck, I had suggestions on what to take out and what to put in. This deck looks more like a deck built, instead of a deck built for beginners, it's like a deck built by beginners, where they don't understand that if you go with multiple concepts, it'll all just fall apart. Instead of trying to have like a buffet where you get everything, you need to pick the one meal you want to be making and focus on what may slightly accent that meal, but overall stick to the base concept of the meal. That's how I feel about this deck. It was just dreadful. I had fun yesterday and it was just a slog, and I stuck with it longer than I should have too, because I kept going, this deck can't be this bad. But I just lost game after game after game, and I'm like, okay, I give. It's not that I don't get the deck. It's that, because that was part of it too. Like with the Ashiok deck, you sit there and go, or any other deck, you go, okay, how do I win with this? And I went from, how do I win with this to, can this deck even win? That's not a good scenario. There is not a balance between the two decks at all. Maybe they face off against each other in a reasonable way. I have no idea because I didn't play the two Planeswalker decks together. But if you've watched both of the videos and you're trying to figure out which Planeswalker deck to get, if you're only going to get one, Ashiok all the way, okay? I do not recommend this deck. It's terrible, all right? So, if you've actually played with the deck yourself and you have a different opinion or the same opinion, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the deck overall for anybody who hasn't played it? Is it something you think, like, how would you tweak this deck? Because for me, I would just take the whole thing apart. At this point, like, you could maybe take half of the deck, just yank it out and put in a bunch more aggressive stuff and try and go for a swarm. But let's be real. White's weaker than it's been in a long time, so there's not much you can do with mono white, really, at this point, it feels like. At least not with a deck like this. Anyways, sound off with your thoughts, because you know what? YouTube likes that. It likes it in the algorithm. When you type the words, it shows that you're enjoying the video. And so click on the like button and click on the, just double like it. No, triple like it, because double liking will just unlike the likingness. So, anyhow, do all that silly nonsense, because why not? Who cares? Make the algorithm happy. And now, I guess, go watch some stuff. Go watch some other stuff on the channel. I'm guessing I'm waving my hand, so I probably linked some stuff here. If not, I look like an idiot. Anyways, thanks to all my patrons and channel members. See you guys tomorrow.